life for the last 30 years, just keeping Briland on his toes.
Hello there, and welcome to Insight Check, which is basically just where those of us who are available on a Tuesday night get together and ask each other questions about our characters, about the story, about where we're going, what we're doing, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun with it. This evening, both Evan and Justin are unavailable, so it's...
Boo.
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 We set aside Tuesdays. Well, it's Sean and Alex and I, and we have
Yay.
a number of questions, and a number of our supporters have gone ahead and asked us questions. Now, how can you do that? If you have a question that you would like answered in the next Insight Check, you can comment it below this video or below any of our other sessions. You can just add Insight Check question, blah, 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 and we will get to it whenever it is we record our next episode. But tonight, without further ado, let's get started. First question that I have for each of you, what are you drinking?
Oh, you're gonna be real disappointed when I say water.
Oh no, I mean, I
That's
also have
fine.
water.
I literally just got back from the gym. Like, I shoved food in my face and I have water. In about 20 minutes, I'll go get a drink.
Yeah, you need carbs, go get a beer.
A good argument.
The yeast will really help you digest after that workout. I'm drinking, this for once I'm the one drinking, it's a white rum, and I have a Diet Coke, and I think I'm just going to mix it in my mouth periodically. That's me from Florida. Classy.
Oh yeah, yep. I am drinking Count Orlok. It is a seasonal beer by one of my favorite local breweries, Urban Chestnut Brewing Company. It is a pumpkin stout with spices, and it's absolutely delightful.
Why does pumpkin have to be... I like the flavorings of fall, but does pumpkin have to be included in that? I like a pumpkin pie. I like a pumpkin cookie.
I don't like the pumpkin pie.
Sweet potato is better than everything pumpkin.
Ooh, sweet potato, you said?
Sweet potato.
Correct.
Yeah, I will
Like-
not argue with that. Yeah, I don't
drink-
like pumpkin pie, but it's the consistency. It's the like sort of sliminess that comes
Yeah.
with pumpkin.
Well, you can do that with a sweet potato, and it's better.
Okay. Yeah, sweet potato pie is good, especially with a lot of brown sugar.
I'm a basic bitch though, and I love a pumpkin beer, and a dark pumpkin beer, and it's got like additional spices in it, nutmeg and clove and cinnamon and whatnot, and it's fucking real good.
Send me some.
Okay, I will.
Just kidding.
All right, well, I want to get started with some of the more technical questions that we have, and these were asked mostly by our friend Caleb, who wants to know what are some of the challenges that come with filming an actual play D&D show digitally or virtually, I guess you would say, rather than at a table.
I was gonna say I've done both now. Briland has done both now as well. So I can say that I prefer, as much as I love doing things online because I can do it with Briland that's 1,000 miles away, I do prefer a live action play because the back and forth is a lot more organic, less waiting, because connections and things like that, you don't want to jump on top of each other. We still have fun moments where we can like match and things like that, but I think digitally we're a lot more patient at the table. I think it does take a little bit longer to get through scenes because we're a little more patient with each other and more of the discussion. And the one thing I'll tell you, the one thing I love that Briland is doing in this that I miss from live action stuff, so you still incorporate it, is the live sets. Like, I love having something in front of me, being able to... It's something I never got to do when I did it for myself, and so I really want to do that next time. But, like, the fact that you bring in a camera and you can, like, record the live set as it's being used, I think is a lot of fun. And I know you're going to go back and do editing things with that, but, like, in the moment, because I know it's just makes my life easier to think about, and it just makes it more engaging in the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely something about that 3D space, which is handy. And I think I'm going to struggle doing that for like every combat that we have. Yeah. But the ones that I can plan well enough ahead of time, I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. No medium will beat a table.
Yeah.
With your friends sitting around, the banter you can have, the way conversation flows. All of that, being able to have little like side conversations in character, that kind of stuff. I mean, when we first started the Stormslayer campaign back in 2020, there was a learning curve there to like not step on each other, and it took a while to kind of figure it out. And having only had played live before, at first I'm like, I don't know about this, but you get used to it. And what are you going to do when you live all over the country?
Yeah, I think I agree with what both of you said. There's in no world will virtual play ever replace gathering around a table. I would so much rather play at a table than play virtually if I had that option. I think the only benefit there is that I get to play with you and I get to play with my favorite people to play with. You know, Alex lives in Florida, Sean lives in California. You cannot really get further apart and be in this country and still like play D&D together. And
Briland's annexed Alaska.
Yeah,
Briland's in fuck Alaska.
The unannexation of Alaska.
This nation. They're not in this nation. They're all the way up there in Canada.
We're
In the
about to give it to
Continental
Russia
48.
anyways.
Sorry. Anyways.
The
Yeah,
one thing that I would be interested to explore is a VR virtual table.
Yeah.
It would take a lot to get all of us together to be able to do that, but I think that's the happy middle there.
Yeah.
There is still some lag, even if it's like in front of you, it's still a little bit of that delay that I'm like, the VR might make me more frustrated that I'm like standing next to Sean and I'm waiting
Right.
for him to answer and I'm like shaking your avatar in the middle of VR space being like, answer, and you're like, I'm thinking.
That would be really cool to be able to have a virtual avatar of your character.
Yeah.
Like, that would be fun.
That's got to be, depending on your wealth, that's got to be 10 to 20 years from now, where you can get a virtual headset and, you know, Dungeon Master downloads like landscapes and you have a Hero Forge is connected to your virtual tabletop.
We're not that far.
I was gonna say we're probably like 2 or 3 years out from, but like
The stuff that's available now is not bad. It's
Have you
not as
seen Meta?
customizable. Like, you should see some of these VR chat room avatars. You know, they get pretty creative.
Sean just enters as Hatsune Miku for like, I swear I thought he was an orc paladin level 6. No, he's Hatsune Miku this round.
Shit, it's my other character.
That's my other campaign. It's my other campaign. With the fucking leaks. I will say the good thing about doing things virtually is that, especially the way we're doing it, is that you can have a longer campaign for longer episodes.
Yeah.
When I do it live, I have a tendency, and same thing with like D20 and things like that, they tend to film multiple episodes in one day and kind of package that and then shuttle it off. So this is a little bit more, the story evolves more with a weekly online thing more than it would with a live play that's like a little more packaged.
It has a little bit more hardiness to it. You know, over the course of the 5 years of the Stormslayers campaign, several of us moved across country. 2 of our players got divorced. I had a baby, and like a in-person campaign would not have survived any of those.
It's true.
So yeah, there's a bit more of a survivability to a virtual campaign. So yeah, it does have its pros and cons. If I had the choice to every week meet with you guys via Zoom or meet with you guys in person, I would choose in person every single time.
We'd get less done, I will say too.
Yeah.
Me and Evan in the same room is not, I don't think should ever happen.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see whenever we gather in person, which way is more productive. Another question that Caleb had that's more about the technical aspect of the campaign is, and this might just be a me answer, but you guys feel free to chip in with your own experiences and ideas, but he wanted to know what made us take the campaign online. What made us want to package it and put it out there. And for me, it's a matter of building my brand, whether it goes one way or the other, whether people find our campaign online and they say, oh, this is cool, I want to consume more content from this creator, and then find my books, or if someone finds my books and has the same thought and then goes towards the campaign. Really, I plan on writing a lot about what happens in Center Ring over the course of my life, and I think one day, hopefully, people will be like, oh, well, if you're reading this trilogy right now, you should really go back and watch that campaign that they did a few years ago, because the two intertwine, or, you know, something along those lines. You know, I don't really expect knock on wood, maybe I'm wrong. I don't really expect our campaign to take off right away and us to have thousands of people watching our first few episodes yet. I'm hoping they take off eventually.
Yeah.
It's like, is Alex frozen or is he just?
I think no, the online stuff is pretty fun. I will never watch it. I'm not gonna watch a single episode. I don't want to see myself third person. I've always been like that though, even with like the stage stuff, or like film skits and stuff that I've done. I hate watching myself act. I feel hypercritical, and I'm sure it's fine, but I don't like it.
I feel the same way. I mean, I will watch it because I enjoy everybody's things, but I mean, once again, I've edited 12 to 14 hours of myself talking, and yes, I do want to kill myself when I hear myself talk, but I think the more you desensitize to yourself to this, the easier it gets, and I think you become a better actor and player in the moment when you kind of can take yourself and be self-aware. Like, you kind of, I don't know, Briland knows with clowning and things like that, you kind of do have to know who you are and kind of have to be, like, okay with it, because the only way to get better is by, like, unfortunately looking yourself in the mirror and being like, damn, that's fucked up, I need to do more, or seeing something that you really liked about yourself and be like, damn, I should do that more. So it's not always about finding the negative, I found. It's always about finding, like, find the little cushion of compliment you give yourself in that moment, too.
I guess there's something to be said for that.
Love yourself. Love yourself.
I definitely learned to sort of like separate, because I don't have a choice. I'm the one editing all of the videos. So I've just, over the course of the past few weeks, learned to separate myself from what I'm watching. And there's a little bit of editing magic of like, oh, I stuttered too much there, cut. And like, oh, I'm not really digging how I described this thing. Here's some great music that can lift it up and really add to the theme. But yeah, I will watch these things eventually. I think, I don't know if it's vain of me, but like I still go back and watch some of the videos that I created for the channel that's just like the DM tip stuff to be like, okay, what did I say here? How did I say it? And take lessons from that. And I hope to, you know, like I mentioned, when I'm writing stories about Center Ring, and if it does coincide with this campaign, and this is, you know, 15, 20 years from now, I look forward to being able to go back to, okay, when about in our campaign did this event take place? Let me watch that session.
We will be the last remaining piece of media as America falls to our Canadian brethren.
Honestly, they can have it. They can have it. Hopefully, you know, I hope to run D&D for Aster for as long as he'll let me. And I just imagine like him and his middle school or high school friends sitting around the table, and it's like, okay, like you guys are gonna be playing during the Sorcerer Civil War? There's a whole YouTube channel about it.
That's like Brennan Lee Mulligan playing Stardust Odyssey, which is like his mom created.
Which
You're
is
like,
so
okay.
cool. Evan wants to know, how did you come to decide on your character's name? Is there a reason or story behind it? I'm really curious to hear Sean's answer, because you've had Aspen Echoes as a name for years.
Oh.
I wish there was an exciting reason other than I come up with character ideas all the time and names and all of that. And Aspen, it was just Aspen at the time, stuck in my brain. And so I just held on to it. And, you know, a few years ago when this campaign was developing, I kind of like, all right, what character do I have that I'd like to play? And then Aspen started to develop more, because I already knew it was going to be a bard. And I'm like, well, it can't just be Aspen, because I like characters with a last name.
I mean, you were the only one in the Stormslayers campaign.
I sure was.
Well,
because people have a first and last name. I don't know. I'm the weird one, I guess. And so I was like, what would be a cool, like, not like a, obviously like fantasy type, but like bard type fantasy. Like you had Anthony Steelweaver. I hit it kind of on the nose with that a little bit. And then Echoes, because it kind of Aspen Echoes just flows well.
does.
And then you have the sort of sound quality to the name. And yeah, that became it. I wish there was a more exciting reason than that, but it just sort of developed.
Doesn't have to be. Now, Alex, you mentioned in your player character interview that we're all surprised. Penth it means something in Greek.
People don't know. Not everyone knows that I do these things, Briland. You're very few people. Yes.
You go watch Babydale. Make sure you have a Greek to English dictionary with you.
No, don't, because you're going to ruin all the fun.
When you eventually do a second season, I'm bringing a Greek to English dictionary with me.
I have actually, for the other thing I'm working on that I told you guys about, I'm using Gaelic and Breton as the words of inspiration.
I'll have a Gaelic to English dictionary here.
Or closer to Breton, which is a little more fun too. Anyways, hi. Penth is short for Penthos. At least it was shortened from Penthos, which was the Greek word for grief. I like to do Greek things because I'm a Greek person, and it's fun to hide Greek things in my campaigns and in other people's campaigns, so that like months later I go, haha, that word meant this, and it was kind of fun. Like I played a character named Tavros Skata, which is a rough translation to the word bullshit, and he was a wizard who was tricking people. So, and things like that. So Penth is grief, and the reason for that, I think it was when we talked about characters and what they were going to be going through, the idea of them being 10 years in the future, of having been changed from being someone else. So I thought I want my character story to be kind of about grief, and I knew he was going to be a death cleric, so I thought I was going through words in Greek that were like, what could it be? You don't want to do things like Hades and things like that. You don't want to go too on the nose, so I thought Penthus was a really good name, and shortening to Penth felt like a really good, strong, like, and also just like P to the TH, I don't know, vocally seems like a very strong, like, Penth, like, end of story, nothing else going on. I do like Aspen echoes that just flow.
Yeah.
It almost, like, reverberates at the end, Aspen echoes. Even I think Thomas has a good name, and I think even Skia, I think all of our names kind of inherently represent us a little bit, which is nice.
I don't know where Skia came from, but I do know Thomas is like a minor Greek, like sea god or river god or something.
I'm being shit on for doing Greek stuff now, but Evan's doing it,
well,
and he's not even Greek, so I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, let's cancel Evan. Yeah.
Could you imagine if white people were like that?
Oh my god, they're the worst. Yeah, so Thomas is some sort of like minor Greek, or it might even be a Roman river deity, and I think it's what the Thames is named after.
Ah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that also what thaumaturgy comes from?
Yes. Yep.
Sea god of Pontus and Gaia. Wow, he's older, almost older than, what's his face, of Poseidon. Just as my own little answer to this question, I had the idea for Epoch. I was going to ask about
such a long time, and I did the image of the character, and I wanted its name to be an acronym that could be connected to time in some sort of way. I didn't want it to be time, but I wanted an acronym. I wanted to fill that trope, and I couldn't think of any word that was going to suffice, because the things that I kept coming back to were like clock. Nope. Not gonna use that one. Tick. Nope. Like you could do tick or talk. Nope.
This is my friend Sands of Time.
I might have considered sand at one point.
Epoch is a very good.
I was happy when I came up with Epoch, and then figuring out the acronym from there, just it worked pretty easily. Yeah.
Why must things be acronyms, Brian? That was one of my questions.
I didn't know Epoch was a word.
Yeah.
I actually,
wow.
According to Google, I'm pronouncing it wrong. But I'm pronouncing it. Yeah, it's epic.
Epic.
But everybody that I've ever heard use the word pronounces it Epoch.
We're all wrong.
I don't know why not everything has to be an acronym. It's just Epoch and WASP.
I'm in your life, in your other writings and things like that.
There's not much else.
I could swear in your first Enter Ring book I read there was an acronym in that one too.
Not an acronym, a pseudonym.
Yes, well, we're not going to talk about Mr. E and how I wanted to drop kick you when I read that.
The party name's an acronym.
The party name is an acronym. We haven't worked that into the campaign yet. And honestly, like I don't know how we will. I don't know what you guys will call yourselves. Are you the past? Are you just past? Are you... We're past heroes.
Heroes of the past. But to be fair, we did think of that without even knowing. Like, that was not on
You guys
purpose.
came up with all of the names individually, and then it was during our first session 0 that we were like, oh, fuck, this spell's passed. Yeah. That's the thing, though, is like, whereas the Storm Slayers were very much like, we are heroes. We are this adventuring party that you know as these heroes, the Storm Slayers. I don't see this party ever being known like worldwide as like, oh, we've got to call up those heroes. It's like,
True.
we'll see what happens. I might be wrong.
But I mean, I mean, we probably have other questions, but like, those are two kinds of D&D introductions, right? We've
Right.
got the route of everyone's already known each other.
Yeah.
And we've been friends forever. Is that how you said Stormslayer started as a group that already knew each other?
They knew each other, yeah, at the start of our campaign.
Is it the jail? Is it the jail
Yeah,
started?
so they started in jail together, and they had all lost their memory. Very stereotypical D&D opening, but they had known each other prior to that. They just didn't know it because their memories had been wiped. So they had been an adventuring party. They had those memories wiped. They were all thrown in prison, and then they were like, "You don't have those memories? I don't have those memories. Something's going on here."
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's
Smells
that.
fishy.
There's that divisive of like, I kind of enjoy a ragtag group of people who didn't know each other and are stuck together, because I think character development flows a lot better, and the ability to ask each other questions is a little bit more organic than being like, we've known each other for 10 years, and then you're still like, for the audience, trying to sorry, I had to smack that cat with my candy cane. Yeah, that's
Smack it
anyways.
He's welcome to the
versus
stage.
smack my cat with a candy cane. Get on up, work it out. But yeah, I mean, do you prefer them knowing each other? Do you like making people get to know each other?
I hadn't really thought about it. I hadn't made the connection that both of these parties in most recent D&D like knew each other ahead of time. I do really like what you guys have done in alluding to things from your past and using that for character development in moments, and even like referencing. I think it's something that you, Alex, are really good at, of being like, well, you have this, and it's always something that we've already discussed outside of the table, so it doesn't feel like you're assigning traits to anybody, but you're making callbacks to traits from the childhood that the audience doesn't know about, and through that helping the other players characterize who it is that they are. So I think that's a really fun way of doing it, and I hope our audience enjoys getting to know the characters that way.
I think we have fun developing things to surprise you as well.
You guys do develop things behind my back, and then you reference it in the session, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's just this idea of like, I don't know, as a PC, I was like, God doesn't see everything. So I'm always like, I don't know, I feel like if God was real, I'm already assigned to hell, because I'm always very much that person being like, I think it's more fun to surprise you too, to be like, all right, these are things that we've thought about that we want to bring in to make it feel like we have been kids together this entire time.
Yeah.
And I think Sean and Evan and Justin are all a lot of fun to go along with the stupidity that I'm just like, all right, what did we did as kids that we could implement later on?
What was it, Mr. Gold?
Mr. Goldberg?
Mr. Goldstein?
Mr. Goldstein, which is just a homeless man.
It's a homeless man who's very wealthy and chooses to be homeless because he doesn't want to pay rent.
And this is one of the characters that Aspen plays?
I think
Apparently.
I think we talked about it being a character that you used to put on when we were kids to get out of things. Like, to be, like, immediate, like, that's one of the oldest characters that Aspen's ever done. Or maybe one of his first characters he's ever done was Mr. Goldstein, so he could be like, all right, we're doing a Mr. Goldstein, just like I think
A
me and
hobo
Thomas.
philanthropist.
Yeah, the homeless philanthropist.
Where does he keep all of his money?
In the holes in the walls, kids.
Probably the bank, but, I mean, who's to say?
He just doesn't trust property taxes, so he is rich, he just is homeless.
Can't blame him. I imagine, like, the 10-year-old kids, Mr. Goldberg is like Aspen sitting on Penth's shoulders in a trench coat, and just like walking around that way. Yes, I'm going into this play now. Yes, I know only adults are allowed, and here I am, an adult.
I look homeless, but I do have money.
Goldberg.
Mr. Goldberg always has money. No matter how much I smell like piss and shit, Mr. Goldberg always has money.
Somehow it always comes back to piss and shit.
It's your fault you started this. One day you're gonna do a character that's not piss and shit. I mean, can I ask a question to Sean?
Yeah.
Is there other characters like you would be willing to talk about that you have in like Aspen's canon that you haven't like? Have you thought about the characters he portrays?
I
or
thought
these
about
things-
different characters,
Okay,
and we
so
could,
it's not all organic.
and we could just make stuff too. Like, I haven't done any. I haven't really done any yet.
Yeah, you've done
outside
homeless
of the
men.
regular. There's really just been 2-ish.
We're not counting session 0.
No.
What are the 2? You've done the homeless man, and then
Well, homeless man was you.
well, I thought you also like dressed yourself too.
No, he dressed up Thomas.
Oh, that's what it was.
He
Okay.
put kiss on you, and then he prestidigitated
Justifications.
Thomas.
Stupid. But then, yeah. So, what characters have you played so far?
Aspen.
That's true. And I guess is Cowl Aspen still Aspen?
Oh, that could be one too, I suppose.
Yeah,
I mean, in your
those
mind,
are
is
the
it
two.
is Cowl Aspen a different version of Aspen, or is he a different character?
The Mask and Aspen Echoes?
If this is insight, there's Aspen and there's Aspen Echoes.
Ooh, interesting. That's all I need. I think it'll be fun to figure out which is which.
I mean, I've differentiated.
I think, like, watching it back, it's pretty clear to see which one is which. Sean, you had a question for Alex to return the favor?
I do, and I thought about this like just a little while ago. And we could do this in session also, but why did Penth join WASP?
Ah, indoctrination.
Is that a in session like reveal kind of thing?
I don't think it's something that Briland and I really has talked about in length.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
a lot of
it's-
it has to do with my path, my mentor. I think originally
Okay.
was my way into the military was to follow my mentor, and then from there the military. I don't think when I started the WASP I was very aware of the because I think
Was that the childhood mentor?
The childhood mentor was the military.
The Minotaur.
Lion.
Lion.
No, I had Lion.
Okay.
I think right because Minotaur was Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas at the Minotaur.
So, yeah, I think it really comes from, it's something with a lot of people in the military, as you may know, Sean. It's that feeling of belonging, it's that feeling of community, it's that feeling of, like, coming from basically just your family and finding out that you don't have them anymore and latching on to the people that you're around. And I think the relationship with Smoke and the friendship might have something to do with that, because Smoke might have been a reason for me to really been invited to the WASPs as well.
So-
Camaraderie is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, it is the camaraderie aspect of it, and I think
Yeah.
it wasn't until I started realizing that it wasn't bad magical people. I think it took a while for WASP to get off the ground to the point where when they started going after the bad magical people is when I started noticing that.
So, a little bit of clarification, and then one of my questions for Alex ties into this. So, Penth joined the military, and in the military met Smoke. The two of you were soldiers together. Not any, like, there wasn't any conflict going on, but you guys excelled in the missions that you were sent on and training and all of that. So, when the two of you finished your time in the military, you were recruited for this very new task force that was being put together, that is the Negotiators, as a task force of the workforce of Arcanist Surveillance and Protection. So Penth and Smoke were actually two of the very first Negotiators. You guys, amongst several others, were the first to don the uniform. So there was no knowing what the Negotiators were before that. You put it on and you're like, okay, we're this new thing now. And then over the course of time, it seems that Penth came to the realization that what the Negotiators were going to be was not something that he wanted to be involved in. Now, a little bit more details into that, and I don't want to spoil too much of Penth's backstory, but Alex, you've mentioned to me that Penth and Smoke were very good friends, and it wasn't until there was an incident that forced Penth away from the Negotiators that Penth realized that he felt something more than just friendship. So my question for you, Alex, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Penth has been away from the Negotiators for 3 years. So on what level is Penth aware of those feelings for Smoke, and on what level is he willing to acknowledge them, and have they changed in the last 3 years?
I think he's all well. I mean, if it was just a thing, even if they was just friends and things like that, and the idea of them being like, if you didn't like him, that's great, it's fine. I think the circumstances of Smoke being the reason why the negotiators are after Penth, Smoke being the reason why he even got caught in the first place. While he was trying to leave, at the same time he didn't really want to be necessarily caught as a magical person, and having to use magic in order to save Smoke and then be betrayed like that, I think keeps him in the forethought of the brain more than a normal, like, even if I had a crush on somebody else, like that's like flippant, I'm in my 30s, I'm about to be 30, I'm not dealing with that, versus this is someone that like had a little bit more of a meaning to them. So I think every time he may have had a slight run-in with the negotiators or saw one walking down the street, he thought it was Smoke, and it's never been a point of like needing to talk to him. It's always been a point of hiding, and it wasn't until I think with the siblings being there, seeing them be more aggressive, seeing them attack their family and things like that, is when it starts becoming more of a, okay, I have to face this head on. And I think the feelings are, obviously, if you watch the show, the feelings are still there. But it'll be interesting to explore how far Penth is willing to go for Smoke. Is this something that should be, is he something that's worthwhile? So it's fun to see how the story develops, to be like, is this a lost cause and I need to realize that? Or is this someone that can help out in the long run? So we'll see what my patron has to do with that.
We'll see. I've got a question that Ross was curious about that sort of ties into this, so I'll ask that to you, and then I'll send a few questions Sean's way.
Yeah.
Ross, this question is very interesting because he's only watched the first episode. That being said, he mentioned specifically that Penth was the character that he was most interested in. He
suck it, Aspen.
Which honestly,
I'm
like,
just kidding.
Wow. Thanks, Ross.
Aspen is like, Aspen is right up Ross's alley. Ross absolutely loves Quoth and Name of the Wind, a very theatrical person who, was a theater kid growing up.
He needs to watch the next, he needs to watch episodes 3 through 5, and then he'll be fine.
I think Aspen will eventually overcome.
Yes, I think so,
I think
too.
Aspen will eventually surpass Penth. But
agreed.
Watching the first episode, Penth stood out to Ross, and he wanted to know, again,
oh no,
this is funny considering he's only watched the first episode, what's the possibility that Penth finds true love and settling down in this campaign, or will he be more of a new adventure, new lover kind of archaeological adventurer?
See,
are you gonna fit that Indiana Jones stereotype?
Well, because I'm not him. I'm Rachel Weisz, baby. She's content with Brendan. She's Brendan Fraser.
Right.
She's very content. So I also don't think this is the campaign, because we talked about it when we first started developing the campaign. Briland knows me as a very much like comedy-based person. So if I was considering this campaign more comedy-based, yeah, I'd be more slutty. I think I am. He needs to watch the other episodes. I think I'm still pretty slutty.
Very slutty.
But I don't succeed. And B, I think the pining is a little bit more fun and a little bit more on tone to have this kind of more trying to settle for something better for myself than trying to be the guy who's trying to hump everything. I think it's fun to like push Thomas towards men who find him interesting, because I think as a person myself, I'm very much that way too. But like, I think because if this was a comedic thing, it'd be different, but because you wanted this to feel more grounded, feel more real, feel a little bit more like action adventure, I wanted to hone into that. And I think what I'm doing right now, it may shift a little bit depending on what's going on with Smoke, but I think he's a lonely lover boy. I think he's got some unrequited feelings for Orcmen. And but can I like bounce that on to Sean?
Yes.
To say, because for the people who have watched the last 5 episodes, Sean likes to pretend, or Aspen likes to pretend, that women in his life are nothing. They mean nothing to him. What's going on? I don't care. But they tend to want to fuck you constantly. Do you want to give any insight to that?
One woman who threw herself at Aspen.
Yeah, because he rolled bad. There would have been 3 if he rolled better.
Yeah.
Like, even the head butler, if he had better charisma, would have been like crushing on him, even though he went through the back
rolled
door.
Pretty poorly. Well, what's the question? Like,
are you gonna be someone who fucks, or are you gonna be someone who's more shy about it? Like, is it all within the character that you're playing?
He's not shy about it.
You're a little shy about it, at least with your siblings.
Aspen isn't like, an overly sexual person, where he could be very, very easily with his status. I think he looks at sex as more of a like who he could hook up with is more important than the hooking up.
Transactional.
Yes, but also like he doesn't care about hooking up with the hot barmaid. He cares about maybe hooking up with the vice chief of the government.
Yeah.
Like that is more important to him.
You're a star fucker. The star is also the star fucker.
You know, it could, or it could be the wife of a train baron. Who's to say? But I think status is important to him, and it's not like he looks down on people who don't have status, but like that part of his life, I think he treats as a game.
Interesting. I love this.
Beautiful lead into the first question that I came up with for Aspen. And some of this, our audience will know more than Alex does, because there will be next week, I will be releasing a video in which I explain what happened to each person during their session zeros. So our audience will know a little bit more about what Aspen has been directed.
Directed? I'm listening. I'm listening in contently.
The audience will know a little bit more about what Aspen has been directed to accomplish, but I want to know how much of Aspen's interest in Hippolyta is genuine.
It can be both. It can be both.
End of your comment?
It can be both.
Assigned, directed. Are you a negotiator? I'll kick your ass. Aspen echoes.
Okay, that's very good to know. That was, honestly, as I was laying in bed last night thinking about questions for the two of you, that was the first one that came to mind. Because I love Hippolyta, and she's got some stuff up her sleeve, and I'm excited to...
I know she does. Because I know you. But yes, I'm interested to explore that. But considering some of Aspen's past stuff, it doesn't really matter.
Sean, if you could play any instrument at a professional skill level, which would it be?
Like me, Sean, the person?
You, Sean.
I do really like the violin. I would like to play it as more like a fiddle, personally, though. And I don't know, maybe just the guitar. I do like banjo a lot.
Banjo is fun. Actually, major pick.
I had considered this when I played Antony. I learned how to blacksmith, because I was interested in my character's trade, and so I was thinking about like, all right, if I were to pick something Aspen can do this campaign to learn, like I could learn, like violin is this thing, I could learn to do that. I'm like, that seems like a lot of work, like a lot of practicing. Or I could buy a target and learn how to throw knives in the backyard. Like there's just something that's like character related.
Maybe it's an acting class. Maybe
I don't
like
know how many acting classes are. A what?
A dialect coach.
Oh, that could be cool.
Acting for film specifically, because you are moving from stage to screen.
If I were to go back and do it over again, I would have gone to film school.
I enjoyed it.
That's what I realized about myself. I'm like, man, if I was smarter when I was a young, dumb kid, that's what I would have done, considering like the Hollywood connections and stuff that my family had.
It's never too late.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, when are we going to get that call from Liam Neeson to record?
It could be any day now.
After he films Naked Gun 2.
Any day. Is he in Naked Gun 2?
No, I don't know if there is, but he's in Naked Gun 1, the new one.
Evan watched it. Apparently he enjoyed it a lot.
I haven't seen it. No one would go with me.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it yet. So I'll take some questions. I do reserve the right to not answer things that I consider spoilers.
How do you feel it's going so far?
I think it's going really well. I'm very happy with the campaign. I am happy with the point that we've reached where now, like things are in your hands. I'm stepping away from the reins now that we've established what's going on in the world and for the characters. Now, that start of campaign railroading that you do is done now. So I step away, and now you guys are at the helm, and I'm really happy with like the product that we're putting out, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. There are, watching the videos, there are some things where it's like, oh, I want to do this a little bit better. I want to describe a little bit more. But I think I do notice already, just from session 1 to session 5, a little bit of an improvement in the descriptions that I'm putting in. Overall, I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
We could also ask descriptive questions to spark it more if you want.
Yeah. I think like a big complaint, not a big complaint, but like something that I want to spend more time on is just the detail of Feroth and expanding Feroth and making Feroth feel more like a character, its own character, and really like diving into that world building and expanding it.
I think now in this is the time to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because we're all sort of off doing different things for the moment. For who knows how long.
No,
but,
don't do that.
Don't worry, I'll start fights. It's fine. No.
Well, if you're alone starting fights, that's a bad idea. I gotta get you guys together more often. Man, if only there was like one plot that pulled all of you together.
We'll go to the cleaners, okay? But you drop a katana in our, you drop a Yogabba Gabba, you drop a katana on us, and you expect us to not like, and then Aspen decides not to say jack shit about it, and then Thomas decides not to say jack shit about it, and then we have to go kill a negotiator. As much as I want to know things, I enjoy an audience getting slow-fed things, so I won't. Meta storytelling is kind of D&D's bread and butter, in my opinion. Like, very little in other media do you see, even in the game, actors having to pretend to not know information while pursuing, like Aspen talking about katana. It's not hard, it's hard, but damn, is it fun to watch as an audience member, seeing people pretending that they don't know the problem, that they don't know, that they can't, they have to find a way organically in the story to figure out a way to ask the question and things like that, or else you're not playing the game. In my opinion, you're not playing the story right. If you're trying to go too far into the meta and break that fourth wall because you heard something, you can't justify that. But if you find a way within the story to be like, wow, she was hot, and then getting him to talk about it is a lot more entertaining for the audience as well.
Yeah.
Gotta remember, that was, I think, my whole thing when we talked at Missouri Comic Con was like, remember the audience. It's not about us, it's about the audience.
Right.
And so, and that's why I like doing this. I think doing a recorded D&D session is more fun because you're considering another person at the table. Yeah. More so than, like, it's less selfish, in my opinion. Like, to do this.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, you're doing it for other people. Yeah. Which is kind of, I have a question for Briland. I, as you know, is someone who always has themes to everything. I've never written a thing, and I always fully believe that everything has a reason. So, specifically about the way you built center rings like bureaucracy and government, is there an inspiration behind that? Is there like a reason that you feel the need to kind of bring in the conversation of negotiators and political turmoil?
The current story that we are telling takes place in what some people might consider like a post-apocalyptic center ring. Whereas, like, there was the Sorcerer's Civil War. Well, first there was the Yarmon War, which was the first major conflict in 1,200 years. So many people weren't used to war. So that was a surprise. And then where that was very standard cavalry, siege, whatnot, what happened immediately after was the Sorcerer's Civil War, guerrilla warfare, where the average person isn't able to tell one side from the other, and it's a much smaller scale. I think the way that I've always imagined Center Ring is that even at like magic's height, less than 1% of the population have magical ability. It's a very rare thing, which we don't see in D&D because D&D is about magic and people who can use it. So the adventures that have taken place in Centering at the table are not. They do not accurately reflect the scale of magic in Centering. But, that less than 1% was able to use magic to change the entire world on a daily basis, using those grand powers. And then, over the course of just a short time, they're gone. And there was certainly a dark age that happened after the Sorcerer's Civil War, as people had to adjust to living in a world essentially without magic, and in a world that people were slowly starting to vilify magic. So magic and its role has always been an overarching theme of every story that has taken place in Centering. And that's just one half of it, and I'm not going to get into the other half because of spoilers for just the overall brand.
So magic is your way of talking about queer-centered problems in America.
Magic is one half of a conflict that shapes everything that happens in Centering. And now, that half has essentially been destroyed. So I was really focused when building Feroth and this second golden age and this industrial revolution. Okay, how does this fantasy world move forward without magic, and how does it move forward in a way that it makes sense for magic, and the people who used to be able to use it are the enemy in the eye of the public. And so that was a big theme in the months that I built this setting leading up to our campaign.
Interesting.
I think it's really interesting playing D&D as a magical character in a world where you can't really use it, at least publicly.
Yeah.
Adds such an interesting dynamic to playing the game that I think it really adds a level of creativity that you have to really do in order to make things work for you.
Or if you're me, just barge in magical guns blazing and then try to justify it
Here's a
later.
magical sight.
You're just mad that I use spiritual weapons. Shut up.
So,
anyway, sorry.
This is a question for the both of you that does tie into my rant just a moment ago. So you as players have been in Centering before. Are there any places that you are particularly excited to visit and see how they've changed after all this time? And then similarly, are there any descendants or relatives of people that you have met before that you would like to see?
Aquay.
I'm really excited to get to Aquay.
Well, so, I think Rosalina can't be alive anymore.
No.
And I wonder if there's a descendants of that whole ship, though, of the pirate ship that she commandeered.
We're almost 14,000 years later than that.
1400 or 14,000?
1400, excuse me.
Okay.
We're almost 1400 years after that. Yeah, I don't think the Siren exists anymore.
Tavros probably Tavros doesn't have any kids. He's gay.
Yeah.
And
Gay
John
and
knows
have
it.
kids in Centering.
He
Well-
also got swallowed by a worm.
Mm-hmm, sure.
The other location for me is the Bizarre Archipelago.
We've talked about getting to the Bizarre Archipelago.
That's it. Those are the two places I want to go. Both beautiful islands.
I love that. I think I want to see Infinite Library if it's still there, or what's going on with the Academy. So because that's one of the other ones that I have a little bit more knowledge of. So I'm excited to see what's going on with the Infinite Library and say hi to some of those weird creatures again.
Okay.
Oh, no.
How does that work? I guess it was just a library. Library connects to the library. If the Academy's not there,
But it's its own
the
liminal space.
the library networks still exists, right?
Yeah, I think so. But that's something I need to know if my character would even care about the Infinite Library. So we got to see what's going on with that. As an archaeologist, it depends if it's a ruin or not. So that's something we can talk about in game.
Any dwarven city
Yeah.
works for me because if we did visit a dwarven city in the Stormslayer campaign, we didn't spend any time there.
I don't think you guys went to Nelty once?
We passed through Nelty or something.
Yeah.
But the dwarven, we did not explore the dwarven culture at all, really, other than Albric and his husband, whose name I don't remember. and then the Yarmon like fleet. And that was like it. Back when the Yarmon were still cool.
The Armor
I mean,
are cool.
they might still be cool.
They're always cool.
They were still nice. They were playing,
I would like to see
they're playing ball.
stuff. Elspeth can help with that.
So, Alex, that's the question that I have for you. How, because you and I have not talked about this in your backstory. We've talked extensively about Smoke. How did Penth and Elspeth meet, and how did they become so close?
Oh, archaeology class. I think like when they're first when they were both. I'd like to believe that Elspeth, because she is older, was somebody either a grad assistant or like a professor wherever I was learning archaeology or whatever group I was learning with, like a head, and I just became attached to her because of I don't know. I think at a time where I was feeling really down on myself, I think she was a person that wasn't giving me any shit for that. She's like, you can be sad, but it doesn't matter. You still got to do your work. You can be sad. You still got to go right. You still have to, and it's attaching himself to someone who was constantly motivating. And I think he trusts her a lot, especially I think she's someone he met at a time where he felt like he couldn't trust other people.
Okay.
Because of Smoke and because of the Wasp and the Negotiator things. I think he found it hard to trust, but I think she is someone that forces you to trust her. I think that was helpful for Penth as well. She's the kind of personality that's like, okay, no shit. Like in the last session where we fucked around, but as soon as the door was closed, it was like, all right, back to business. She's a very, I think, as a friend, she's a good friend to have because she's not gonna be blunt. She's gonna be straight to the point. She's gonna be for someone like Penth who needs that influence when his brothers are Aspen, Thomas, and his sister Skia, who have not been very straightforward with him and probably aren't that straightforward with him as kids either. It's nice to have that influence. And I love that stuff.
Do you feel that your characters have relationships with specific siblings that are closer than the others? And Caleb wanted to know specifically on that front, how do you roleplay that in a way that doesn't exclude the other players?
Interesting. Sean?
Arguments.
Yeah.
It something that I've already noticed that will probably eventually be addressed in session is how, I mean, in session we don't know that Thomas and Aspen used to be the ones that would butt heads all the time. That's something that we know.
Yeah.
The dynamic has shifted for Aspen to where it's pretty clear Aspen's going to be butting heads with Penth.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think Sean and I as characters, as kids, were close at all. I think we were like, I think we were close as a group, but I don't think we were like best of buds. But even now, I think less so. Our agendas are very opposite. I'm interested to see. But Aspen, do you think that there is a sibling? Do you think Skia is closer to you because she's the one who's been in town?
Probably just the more regular. I think Aspen is still trying to figure out what's going on with Thomas because he's not the same. He hasn't addressed it. He's not going to call him out and be like, you're different. But like, he's noticed there's a lot more drinking and that he's not the sort of well put together teenager that he once was. That's something for another session.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Aspen, being the one who left home first, probably saw the beginning of Thomas's disillusionment with father, but for the majority of their childhood, their adolescence, Thomas was always the first in line, always the first one awake, always the one ready for the assignment. You know,
Aspen probably facilitated the disillusionment. Like,
yeah. We've talked about how it might have begun with Aspen entering father's office, picking a lock and going through the contents of father's desk and looking through father's notes about each of the siblings and finding that for years, father's notes about Thomas were just disinterested disappointment. Uninterested disappointment.
And he gave him the notes and then never saw him again.
Yeah, he was like, here, Thomas, you should know what Dad really thinks of you. And then he left? What the fuck?
Aspen's not the best person, I think.
I don't think any of us are.
No. I think knowing him and how he's treated people, it's mostly like, I think he turns stuff off and becomes very self-centered.
I mean, the circumstances of your shared childhood backstory has not set up any of you for success.
Right.
No. I think
Trauma.
of all of us, yeah.
Trauma bonding.
I think all of us have a relationship with Skia. I think that character of all of us, Justin's character is the one that kind of is a little bit of the glue, because I think they're the one that either we're protecting or they're the one who has kind of been the middle ground between a lot of us for a lot of argument. I think even as kids, they might have been a character that helped us stay as a group a little bit more. I realized that as we gone on, being like, Justin's character is the only one that we're all like, it's okay, Skio. Justin's character could literally devour a person and be like, it's okay. Thank you for being here. We love you.
I think that was the dynamic always, though, was Skia was father's favorite, but she was seen, from my understanding, is pretty just like straight-laced and mild-mannered and into her studies and a generally pleasant person while the boys fought.
Yeah. And I don't think me being a golden boy made me either you or Thomas's friend when we were kids. I think we all did Fight Club together and we all hung out because we were siblings, but I think being that character did not make me any more closer to either of you. And I think Thomas leaving makes none of us really close to him. And I think you and I were closer, but now that conflict has started to happen, I think we can start seeing like why Aspen and Penth don't get along.
Well, with like Thomas, I think that there was conflict, but I also think that like there was care in the conflict as well. Yeah. Like we've already made the connection of their training styles, while very different. Like those are the two that came back pretty like late night bloodied for different reasons. And while one liked it, the other didn't, I guess. And so maybe that, that was where that conflict was happening. But it is this shared trauma and it's that bond, and it's we'd end up probably, fighting more often than not. But at the end of the day, like it's that family bond that's there.
And Thomas left the Reverie estate shortly after Penth. Like the plan was that when you guys hit 18, the two of you were going to join the army together. And that was shortly after Thomas had learned about what Father really thought of him and was coming to terms with that. And so Penth was like, okay, like this is the plan. This is what we're going to go do. And I think Thomas, if I remember correctly, Thomas had a sort of last minute change of heart that was essentially like, no, I've spent my entire childhood following the orders of someone who doesn't care about me and couldn't have cared any less about the devotion that I was giving him, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I think in our very first session, or maybe it was our second session, when Penth and Thomas were in the kitchen together, Thomas did express a regret of that decision, which is just really cool. And I also really love the dynamic of the three of you guys being like, we have to protect Skia, and Skia has like tentacles coming out of her armpits, and like her chest opens and there's teeth in there, and her eyes are bleeding, and she's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know. It's a fun trope though, because I feel like we haven't seen that spot.
We thought she was a wizard.
We thought she hung out in the back and like chilled, but we didn't know that she had the mech suit.
She was the squishy spellcaster, right?
Yeah. And now it seems like Aspen's the squishy spellcaster.
He's very squishy.
Yeah. Mr. Hyde in the back of a shop.
Mr. I'm not going to join combat unless you force me.
Because he made a set, and God, I love how I got shot on for starting combat like that. And I was like, you want us outside. Why do you expect me to do? Sit here?
You guys did great. I made that beautiful, beautiful battle map, and I forced you guys onto it. And
can you please, for one of our things, even if I need you to bring back a beholder in this world, even if they don't exist, just so you could decorate your camera that you have like a beholder, because that would just, like, when you had it on the street, I was like, it's a gazer.
Beholder, eye view.
Yeah, you just have a little, like, when you go to that, you have your edit, you have a little, like, layout, like an overlay that says, like in a VHS scanner, like Predator.
What are you most excited about or looking forward to while playing this character?
Leveling up, honestly. I think that the journey of leveling up with the character as the story progresses is going to be a lot of fun, because whether or not I stick to Cleric, whether or not I try to go to the Paladin, what is the journey foresee for the character? I think I built a character that's going to have a lot of fun depending on like what route it's going to go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, same for like the path. I don't know what the next step is. I'm still debating that.
The next step is cunning action. The next step is cunning action.
Yes, but for various reasons, eloquence is also very good. But some of the stuff that I'll be able to unlock, I think, with this synergy that I've made with this build is going to be really fun. Just combat's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Support character.
Support.
Once again, support character that murdered a dude while he was running by and then didn't offer. Well, I guess you saved the fairy who helped us, so that is support.
Say I helped the fairy. I tried to do a medicine check to see if there was any glass in Backroom's neck from Penth throwing them through the window, and there sure was, Penth.
So much glass.
I tried to help him by pulling it out, and it got messed up.
He ran into that glass 10 times.
He had it coming, and that's all we can play for copyright reasons.
What is an aspect of your character that you're most excited to see challenged?
His belief between life and death. I think his patronage, and how he deals with the choices of life and death is going to be the most challenging, because that really affects. Briland's like, good, let's make him decide between life and death more.
You're just gonna have to choose between life and death for Smoke, and for each
Elspeth.
of your individual siblings, and for Elspeth, and for.
Well, we already know
Father.
Thomas dies, so I'm over it.
Yeah, we don't care about Thomas.
Personal desire versus duty.
Duty to what? You're an actor.
Duty to the stage, obviously.
To the stage. Did something, Alex? This Ross wanted to know. Did something in the world draw you to the idea of being an archaeologist, or did the character start with the archetype in mind first?
No, actually, I think it was when we went over the fact that this is so far after the Sorcerer's Civil War, this is farther in the future. I thought that, and also the fact that being a cleric of death lends itself to being an archaeologist, because it's about the study of death. It's about the study of past death rituals, which are always in tombs. And so going like, I want to be a cleric of death. We're in a land that has a lot of past, we're 1400 years past what I remember, so that we're going to have a lot of things to do with burials and death. And so I thought I think the cleric came first, and then archaeologist, because it made sense with the idea that I had in my mind.
It's a really beautiful pairing of like a subclass and a background that just makes sense but isn't obvious.
Yeah, it's a fun. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, that's, and I feel like for the world you built in this almost steampunk type of world, it's a great job to have.
Yeah,
it feels like a job that would exist in this kind of like genre.
Yeah. Sean,
Briland.
Aspen has killed 2 unarmed, defenseless people.
Yeah, they pissed themselves and you killed them.
Does he feel justified?
Do you feel justified?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking the big sword. What do you mean, yes?
Yes, he feels justified.
That's a fair answer. They both had the potential to do irreparable damage to your party.
Sure
The
did.
first one was Backroom. Who was the other one? It was
The
recently.
negotiator.
The negotiator.
Oh, that's right.
The new kid.
I forgot because I didn't kill him.
Alex, very excited for this question.
Why didn't you kill him?
Alex, what is your favorite Greek myth?
Oh, what a lovely question. There's so many good ones. Recently, I've been really into Ganymede, which, of course, as we know, is Zeus's little boy toy. Zeus wanted a water bearer, and he saw a really hot boy, and he said, mine! And he turned him to an eagle and carried his ass off, and he became his water bearer until Hera got pissed off and shunted him off of a mountain, I believe, and Zeus caught him and turned him into a constellation. It's a very, as all Greek stories go, man want young pretty thing, God want young pretty thing, God take young pretty thing, God get in trouble, young pretty thing gets to die because of it. So it's a very common, Eros and Psyche, you've got Ganymede, you've got all these, so yeah, I think that, I always love a good Prometheus, the finding of fire myth, because it's about tricking the gods, and that, like, the omniscience of gods is fallible, which is a lot of fun, which is a lot of Greek people being like, fuck you, you make the lightning, but I choose what to eat, is basically what that myth means. So, I have a bunch. I could go on for like an hour. I have my grandfather, his mother's original myth illustrated book from like the 1920s, 1930s.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually recently got it from a couple years back when they moved to a smaller place. It's a big like book, like tome, like of kids Greek myths all illustrated.
Oh,
it's really
super cool.
Yeah, so I
I'd
love
love
it.
to see that.
Ganymede's not in that.
Yeah. I also probably not in that. I always loved the tragedy of Medea.
Oh yeah, that's a myth, but also a play. So
Right,
I
like,
didn't count it.
it's in there somewhere, but I just love, what a tragic character.
Greek people don't treat foreigners well.
And then always just really liked the Trojan War and being able to see like the heavenly side of it and the earthly side of it sort of coinciding throughout the Iliad.
So do you think that was the real Helen? See, this is a fun thing for the people watching it who like know nothing about the Iliad or Troy, things like that. I asked a question that you
It's
don't
an interesting concept.
Well, it's always debated. Is that like in the myth? Which is it? The true Helen? Is it the fake Helen? Is the true Helen in Egypt?
She was a scapegoat. Like,
Oh,
They just wanted the war.
yeah,
correct.
yeah,
But in the we're talking about celestial side of it.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
sacrifice is dependent on what you believe in the myths, because there's a myth that was her. She was like that. She was the problem. The real Helen was taken to Egypt by a different god. All these different things. There's the different plays about it. But my favorite part of Iliad, I will say, and she's probably one of my favorite tragic people, is Cassandra.
Yep.
It's one of my, and I actually like my old gamer tag used to be Wine Mom Cassandra, because the joke when I was in college would be I would drink and get drunk and then make predictions that would come true later, like I'm gonna vomit later. No one would believe me, but luckily at 2 a.m. that was me.
I like the story of Calypso.
With the pig. Oh no, it's Circe's with the pigs, right?
Calypso is
Calypso's the island,
Stranded on the
the
island.
goddess who was, she's stuck on the island,
and the
and
people who visit the island, she's cursed to fall in love with them.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
have to leave. They cannot stay.
and they're like mostly unavailable for
Isn't it
her.
the Argonauts who visit Calypto's island? Isn't it?
Oedipus.
Oh.
No, not Oedipus.
No, just Odysseus,
Odysseus, which is the Argonauts.
Well,
No, that's
I think
Jason.
Odysseus
Is that
was
Jason?
somehow on his own. The Argonauts was
Jason,
Achilles.
yes.
Nope, Jason.
And
Yeah.
Jason later marries Medea.
hmm And that becomes a whole shit show. But so
Who was
Calypso
Achilles?
with-
Who was Achilles' crew?
Achilles' crew was
Myrmidons.
with the
The Myrmidons, yeah.
which is part of Odysseus' crew.
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, question
Reject.
for both of you. This is one of the last things that I came up with. Excited to hear your answers. Your guess, your prediction. Who is the most dangerous character that you have met so far?
Aspen.
Fair.
Dangerous?
Dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say powerful. Who is the most powerful character that you've...
No, I like the term dangerous.
Okay.
I am actually gonna say, at this point in Penth's mind, it is between his siblings, because a lot of the people we've interacted with have been the devil I know. Helena,
Is this-
like Calathi, all the people are people I know, but Aspen been doing shit that's scary, and Thomas has a whole backstory that we know nothing about for 10 years. So both of them, the unknown is a little bit more dangerous than the known.
Is this who does Sean think, or who does Aspen think?
I'd take either. I'd take both.
Sean is going to say Christian Payne. I think that there is something
Like the concept
there.
of Christian Pain? Or is there a person named Christian Pain?
There's a person named Christian Payne.
Named Christian Payne.
And if
This is shit.
Aspen wanted to talk to the Mormons last session, then there might have been some name drop there for some world building and lore building.
Mormons, you mean the teachers?
The teachers.
Teacher,
I can't know
probably-
this information. I can't bring this up organically in the fucking room. Don, son of a bitch.
Well, you don't know who Christian Payne is.
I don't, and I'm not gonna try to like Kaiser Sose it in the middle of a fucking session.
What's in the box?
Here, I've got to put on my DM hood of who do you think is the most dangerous character that you have met so far?
We haven't met Father. I feel like Father's probably pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
But he did get kidnapped.
so it can't be that good.
Supposedly.
I think Zachariah is the most dangerous character.
He's pretty powerful. He has a lot of money.
You guys have given Zechariah way more screen time than I ever anticipated.
Baruch is probably the most dangerous.
Okay.
Epoch turns into an antimatter rifle, probably.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think Epoch is dangerous, but I know that there is a combat ability but hidden inside of Epoch, and I will find it, and I will exploit it.
As a person who knows Justin, somehow Justin.
Yeah.
Just somehow it's Justin, and it's in his ability to break worlds.
He does have that. Okay, the last question that I have on my sheet was given to me by Caleb. How does the fading of magic affect the social dynamics for the more fantastical races? Are they still considered normal, even as the magic that birthed them recedes?
Good question.
And I think in Center Ring, there are 3 species that are inherently magical. And those are giants, who are one of the oldest races and have always been pretty aloof and pretty rare in Center Ring. Dragons, which have not been seen in Center Ring for several decades, and elves. And at the end of our last session, we are starting to see that elves are beginning to feel the effects of a lack of magic. You know, I've always gone back and forth between, like, are elves in Center Ring like they are in Middle Earth, where, like, as long as they're not killed, they're immortal. And I just don't love that, but I also don't like the idea of elves having, like, an old age that they cap at. So my thought was kind of always, like, elves reach a point where they're like, I'm done. I'm ready to see, like, what happens next. And elves, as has been established in Center Ring, don't have an afterlife. When they die, they are reincarnated into pieces of nature. You know, a rock in a stream or a apple tree somewhere. So that's what happens to elves when they decide that they are ready to pass on. And, you know, elves can live for thousands of years, but are they immortal? And that's the thing, is, like, the average citizen of Center Ring doesn't really know that, because of the population of Center Ring, I'd say probably, like, less than 5% are elves. Like, they're not rare. You're probably not going to go your entire life without meeting one. But they have a much smaller population than, like, humans or orcs or halflings or gnomes. I think those 4 are probably, like, highest up there as far as population goes. Humans are far and away the top. But, you know, people as kids, like, learn, wait, that elf is how many thousand years old? They can live forever. And then that's just, like, what you think without really having any of that information later validated. And then the fact that this elf just recently passed on without choosing to do so, and the fact that the news stories are making such a big deal of it, is what's making it a big deal, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we're starting to see, and we will see even more as our story continues, the societal implications, specifically on elves and people, Aspen, with elvish lineage, about what they think about magic going bye-bye.
Alex, do you know why magic is doing what it's doing?
Yeah, it's the whole Sorcerer's War thing. Like, they fought each other. Well, there was the one sorcerer who said, we can't have magic anymore. What's his face? And he got rid of it. The one that was played by... It was, like, one of the very first sessions of D&D with you guys.
Oh, Ramses Ezrin?
Yeah, Ramses Ezrin. Isn't that the story? That this is why the magic's so high?
You know, he was the hero of the Yarmon War, and then after the Yarmon War, it wasn't so much his decision to be like, magic has to end now. It was Ramses being like, you other half of fuckface magic users
didn't do anything.
You broke your oaths.
Yeah.
And didn't do anything, and you need to be punished for that. And then the two sides basically killed each other.
Yeah, and then everyone was awesome. Everyone was so terrified of the destruction that the Sorcerer War caused that no one wanted to kind of bring back magic to begin with, because there was that consensus of being like, was it that fucker that lived forever that had the emotional, your very good, very emotional speech that you had, I'm just being an ass. It was
forever. He was maybe 300 years old,
but he was like, magic was everywhere, it was gorgeous, and then we used it and it was awful, but then he came by and made magic wonderful, and then they fought and magic is terrible. He was like all over the place with it, and then he ended with like, fuck magic. And I was like, okay, you're just a guy who's lived a long life. You just see the ebbs and flows of time itself. Like, that's what the world is the ebbs and flows.
So excited for you and Smoke to argue.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm compiling my arguments slowly, but it depends on when that happens. But
thank you, Alex. You answered my question.
Was I right? I think I'm right. Was the Ramses Ezrin
You're not wrong.
Is there something I missed from our history lesson?
No.
Or was this something I'm not supposed to know about?
There was something that was not included in the history lesson.
That has to do with the session that had to do with Ramses Ezrin like forever ago.
Yeah.
Bitches. That's okay. I like being in the dark for this. I do. It's fun. It is interesting. One of the last things I'll say is that I've played with you guys before, but this is the first time being in a full campaign with the three of you and Briland.
Yeah.
And I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. And it would feel maybe for other people like awkward being that person coming in without that kind of lore behind me, but I do enjoy getting a fresh look at the lore because you guys have had this in your brains for years,
and
so I get a nice like.
Yeah, I guarantee it will be presented to you along the way.
Of course, I trust that you guys won't keep me in the dark, and you're not keeping me in the dark for fun. You're keeping it dark for storytelling reasons, and things like that. You're not. I'm part of the audience plant, kind of, in this world.
Yeah.
No, you got it right. It's 100% right. There's nothing that you don't know.
See, for everyone watching this insight check, whether Briland keeps this in or not, but Briland said in like one of our after our first session 0 together, said one of you is lying, and I've never had an issue trusting other players until Briland said that thing, and now I thought it was Thomas, but then after this insight check, I have a feeling that Aspen needs to be looked at with a nice fine-tooth comb. Needs to be that scene in Spaceballs where they're dragging the comb across the desert.
We ain't found
shit.
And that's where we'll end our very first episode of Insight Check. Alex and Sean, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. And I look forward to not doing it again for a very long time, because that means we are playing every Tuesday. So I will see both of you on Tuesday for our session 6, and we'll see what happens in Center Ring.
So excited for session 6.
Yeah, me too.